Okay, so access keys. So this is an interesting topic, and make sure you pay attention to how to implement access keys in your program, because probably I will require that in whatever solution you submit from here on out. I would need an access key to all your objects or controls in your program. Okay, so now we have that clear. What is an access key? So it basically is an key assigned to almost every object in your application, and basically a letter or a symbol which, when pressed simultaneously with the Alt key, basically imitates the action of clicking that object in your program. So basically, as an example in this picture here, so if you have an assigned access key of n to the name label in your program, so if you type Alt and N, then your label would be selected in your application. Similarly, for the exit button, X is the access key, so Alt X would basically imitate you clicking the exit button in your program. So access keys are keys which allow the users to select an object using your Alt and whatever access key you define. It may or may not appear underlined on the controls text depending on how you have designed your program, and it may also display temporarily if you just hit the Alt key. So if you hit the Alt key, and suppose in your Windows program, maybe in Microsoft Office, you hit the Alt key and you see your whole interface changing, especially like the menus. So in like your file menu, your F might be underlined, and your view menu, your view might be underlined, depending on your platform. And it's not case sensitive, so I mean, if you hit Alt capital F instead of small f, it's still access your file menu. So some of the guidelines in designing access keys. So you have to assign access keys to each control that can accept user input. So in general, I mean, you assign access keys to menus, to buttons, to anything which can accept a user input. So generally, labels or text boxes, they don't have any sort of access keys. But as we will see in this application, we will be actually assigning access keys to labels also. General exceptions are OK and cancel buttons, which generally don't have any access key associated with them. They should be unique so that the problem does not arise. Suppose you have F assigned to access key to file and some other menu or button. So if you then hit Alt and F, then the program does not know which menu or button to go to. So make sure that each control you have assigned an access key to is unique. And so we will generally follow Windows standards for our choice of access keys. So meaning that the file menu will have Alt plus F as its access key, or F as its access key. So we will follow the Windows standards in designing or selecting our access keys. So why use access keys? Well, programmers generally type very fast, and they don't really need to use mouse a lot to navigate or activate controls. So it can be a real pain to uh, do, I mean, to be like in a flow while writing a program and then have to find the mouse and like click something to continue. So instead, they use access keys because it's much smoother with whatever they're doing. And also, like, there are people with disabilities who generally use the keyboard for everything they do, and in that case, access key becomes really helpful. And basically, how you implement access keys in your program is very simple. We just use or include the ampersand character in front of whichever character we want to assign as the access key. So in our example here, you see the ampersand character before the C. So then, and you do that in your text property of your object. So if you do that here, C will be automatically the access key for this button or this object, and it probably will be underlined in your form. Now, if you don't want C as your access key, then if you want A instead, then you can do capital C, then ampersand, and then A. So basically, whichever letter you want to be the access key, you have to put the ampersand just before that. So make sure you don't put ampersand within a space, because then space is not an access key. So it has to be preceding a letter, basically.